Hey, welcome to Mad Dog's After Show. You're in the stands with the Mad Dog and Cole, the birthday boy, Farrell.
If you're going to hit the wall, you might as well take it home with you.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Man, here we go again, starting another great episode with those inspiring words from Mr. Evil Knievel flying through the air, enjoying life, living in the sunlight.
Doing all the things us Americans get to do. And you know why we get to do them? Because of our brave men and women of our armed forces. And of course, our first responders as we approach Memorial Day here soon. Man, just remember why we have a Memorial Day and why we get to do this fun, silly podcast.
Yep, absolutely. And a special shout out to the families of those that gave all, our MIA, KIA, and of course our veterans. Thank you very much. Deep respect. While we're respecting people, we want to be sure and respect our incredible partners and sponsors, Kicker Performance Audio, Kicker.com, Assault Industries, Assault Off-Road Products at AssaultInd.com, Bomber Eyewear at BomberEyewear.com, of course, my man Cole at the Premix Podcast, our girl Kels over at Shutter and Whirl Media, and of course, the super crazy one, Keeks over at Hey Keeks Marketing, heykeeks.com. With that, I think we should get right to this because we got a goodie.
Let's get to it.
All right, like I said, we got a goodie. Justin Von Metal on board. What's up, buddy?
What's happening, guys? Good to be here.
Thanks for coming on, man. We have been trying to put this together for, it feels like a year, but I think it's been 6 months. It's just schedules and your race schedule and our recording schedule. What a mess.
Yeah, it's been definitely hectic. This race season's just been compiled of race after race after race. I mean, what are we talking like? Well, let's see, Parker. We got Parker, we have KOH, then we got the Mint, then
Yeah,
Silver State. And it's really nice to actually just finally take a break and relax.
right. Well, a couple things for those of you who don't know. You can find Justin on Instagram at Justin Von Metal, spelled just like it sounds. So we've got some like serious race wins, some championships. Three-time Mint 400, three-time California 300, three-time World's UTV, and Silver State. How many times?
So this was the first time we won Silver State. We won Parker,
congratulations.
and I won Parker twice.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, in the pro stock, I should clarify the pro stock UTV class. You've done that with multiple brands too. You made the switch this year to the factory Can-Am team.
Yeah, it was believe it or not, it was a really great jump for us. I've been wanting to jump over to Can-Am for a while. Um, just things between I really appreciate all the opportunity that we had with Polaris, but things just weren't working out, and
Yeah.
jumped right in with Can-Am, and it's like a duck to water. I mean, that car is amazing. It's super fast. There's no doubt in my mind that it's a better car than the Pro R. It's definitely way faster. I mean, we were seeing speeds in that car now faster than we ever have been seen in the Pro R, and just the handling characteristics with the King shocks and just all around package. It's just an amazing vehicle.
Nice. Yeah, cool. And I should also mention you are a fellow Assault Industries Assault UTV ambassador.
Yeah, I am when with Salt and Super ATV and Dorman. Yeah. Like I said, our partners are amazing. Diode Dynamics, um, God, good list goes. Metal Effects wheels, rugged radios. I mean, everybody that we got to sponsor that's on the team is just amazing. And we pride ourselves in using the best because the only way you're going to win in this industry is to run the best. And if you haven't got it, you just may not get there.
Yeah, exactly. And they the old adage, man, to finish first. First you must finish, and the quality parts are helping you get across the line without a doubt, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, racing the pro stock class is actually a really driver's class. I mean, anybody can jump in a vehicle and go fast, kind of,
Right.
but it takes a real good driver and it takes to be one of the best in this class. It takes a lot of diversity. It takes a lot of patience. I mean, it's I have that little bell in my ear that just says pin it all the time. But every single time that happens, I mean, I saw my first time DNF ever in my racing career at the Mint 400. We ripped the rear trailing arm off, and that was just one of those things that just I had that bell in my ear saying pin it all the time, and we end up just beating up the car and breaking it. And it happens. I mean, I get it. Everybody sooner or later is going to have a DNF, but between the motocross career and, being a supercross mechanic with my riders, we prided ourselves to always make sure that we finish the race. And as they say, the first, finish the race, you must first finish.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
I've instilled that whole program into my own racing program, and I think that's just definitely how we've become more and more successful over the years.
Yeah, for sure. And so speaking back to some of that, um, before you became a pro UTV racer, let's get back to like the beginning. Like what really pulled the pin? What set
Uh,
the fire on this whole?
So it's kind of funny. So I've been in the motocross and supercross industry basically all my life, and I've never even driven a side by side. I mean, I've driven a Rhino, in a quad. And everybody's done that, right? That
Yeah.
that's about the extent of my experience with it. And it was back in I think like 2019. My brother's like, "Hey, let's get side by side." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll think about it." And he gets one, and I hear about him wrenching it all the time. And I'm just like, "You got to be freaking kidding me." And he's just like, "Yeah, get one." I'm like, "No, you're always wrenching on that piece of junk. I don't want to get a fucking side by side. It's just a waste of my time and money." So he finally convinces me. I get a Polaris, a Turbo S, and we go out to a spot out in Dove Springs, and we're driving around with some really pro riders, and we're in bone stock cars, and we're keeping right up with them and passing them and like they're standing still. Well, later that night we're sitting on the campfire and he's like, "Hey, we should build a race car and go racing." I'm like, "Yeah, it sounds like a great idea." Well, I built the race car. I
Right.
paid for everything, but honestly, what really even drove me even more is that when I used to work for Fox Racing Shocks, and it just seemed like they thought we were it. You're not an engineer per se for Fox Racing. They treated us like we were just minions. We didn't know anything. And I finally
Right.
just got tired of just saying, "You know what? I'll just prove you wrong. I'll build a car myself and I'll just smoke your guys' ass." So the first race that we went out to the Mint 400, and like I said, um, I don't get to test all the time. Believe it or not, most of the times we build the cars. We don't even get to test them. I just jump in the car and go out there and race it. And I
Wow.
just deal with what I have and try to compensate for whatever the problems are. Now that the professional standpoint of this is that now I'm taking this a lot more seriously and doing more suspension testing and making sure that we get the car lined up and make sure everything's perfect. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, every single time we race this, I tear it down to the bare minimum and replace almost everything. I mean, that's just what you have to do in a race, and especially if you
Yep.
want to win a championship. So the first one we went out to, we raced the rally class, and I think we won that one by maybe a half an hour. I could be wrong on that. I thought it
Nice.
was somewhere around about a half an hour, and that just started it from there. And a good friend of mine, Ethan Sullivan, at that time was racing um, Can-Am. And I remember when we first met him at the Mint, I looked at him, I'm like, yeah, and I'm originally from Southern California, from the city of Orange, just born and raised there. But I lived in Nevada, and I looked at him, and Ethan's like quite a bit taller than me. And I looked right up at him, and I'm like, hey, bro, just to let you know, this is my town. This is my fucking island. And he looks at me, he's like, okay, okay. And we won it, and then it just became such a diehard competition between us. And I really love Ethan, and he's such a great guy. And we just became good friends after that. And then it was just always, us trying to battle back and forth, who could beat who. And I happened to be lucky that, to get my first taste into getting a ride. I was at KOH and we did the qualifier, and we were on a heater, and loans to loans to me, I didn't even know I sent my application into Polaris, and was pretty persistent. Never heard a thing, not one peep, not a phone call. So I'm at KOH, and we were. I would definitely say we were definitely top five in the qualifier. What do they call that now? The pro lodge. Well,
Oh, okay.
um, once again, I mean, not listening to that little bird in your
Yeah.
ear telling you to
Right.
calm down. Well, I'm passing people left and right, and I blew a belt, and it was catastrophic. And we
uh,
finished like last place. And I
oh,
remember going back to the motorhome and just feeling like the world crumbling, realizing you had it in your hands and you let it go.
yeah.
And I kid you not, about 30 minutes later, I get a call from Brett Carpenter and saying, hey, I was watching you, really like what we see. We're going to offer you a ride. And it went from there. And, like I said, I was blessed. I gave Polaris 3 years of national titles, Triple Crown titles with Unlimited Off Road. And now we're looking to give one to Can-Am. I'm pretty
Awesome.
excited.
Yeah, that's pretty dang cool. I was looking, sorry, when you said Brett Carpenter, I was looking for the uh Razor Factor racing hat that Brett had given me at one point. And anyways, it's not here. It must be back there. But yeah, no, good guy for sure. And man, that's it like you said, I mean the blip is always there to push it as hard and fast as you can, right? And reeling that in is a big thing also, like being able to kind of reel it in a little bit and go, all right, I got to finish this, you know?
Oh, and like you said, the pro stock class is a driver's class. I mean, it takes a lot of skill because, like I said, anybody can get a car and go fast. You're gonna break. And
Yeah.
the cars that we race in are basically production vehicles right off the line. Now,
Right.
granted, there are a few exceptions that we're allowed to put on, radius rods, tie rods, ball joints, different wheels, different tires, um, of course, a fuel cell. Um, Pretty much it.
That's a stacked class too. There's a lot of entries usually in the pro stock class.
I think it's starting to catch momentum, and a lot of people think because it is an affordable class. You know,
Right.
Jumping up to a pro turbo class or the pro UTV class to be competitive. I mean, you're going to need to spend $250,000. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
You
I
can
know.
jump in. You can jump into the pro stock class with vehicle for about $80,000.
Yeah.
Now you could spend more depending on how extravagant you want to get on your car, but it is absolutely feasible to jump into that class with spending like a maximum of 80 grand. And that's with purchasing this car and being pretty semi competitive.
Yeah, that's really good. So what now, prior to all this, you have that ongoing competitive spirit. What started all that? Because you've done Supercross. well, you were a supercross mechanic, right? A bike
Yeah, so,
chief,
I was a
and
supercross mechanic for, like, all
you're
the top riders, and, it's just a competitive edge. I've always been competitive no matter what. Whether it's, being a kid, racing to the car and see who's gonna get shotgun. I
right.
guess that's pretty much where it always starts with everybody. Um, to fishing, to shooting, to everything. It's skateboarding, surfing. I mean, I do it all. I mean, I've been a professional musician playing drums for years. I've been on the Warp Tour off and on for 2.5 years. I surf, I skate, I snowboard, I ski. I mean, I do it all. And the funny thing is, I mean, I'm 52 years old and I'm still charging,
Yeah,
and I don't plan on backing down anytime
that's
soon.
awesome. That's awesome. So in those early years on the motorsports side, was it just being in the Southern California culture? Um, did you get a PW50 for Christmas when you were a kid, or
The
what
funny thing is
started the
like,
motorsports thing?
so I kind of grew up in a different type of family where, like, my parents made me earn everything. I mean, nothing was given to me. I had to earn it. And my first dirt bike, I used to, when I was 12 years old, I'd go out and mow lawns for a quarter, and or, like, a couple bucks. And I remember the last thing I did was I would take trash cans out for a quarter and put it back in for a dime. And I saved up my money and I bought this TTR Yamaha TTR 175. It was a dual sport, and all my friends, had pretty wealthy families, and I was going out there and ripping with them and jumping over tabletops and doing no footers and trying to twist the bike up. And I don't know, it just started from there. And it's just always been a competitive. I've always just been a competitive. I've always been an athlete. And when it became a super, I tried my hardest to ride motocross. And and I was, a good average, basic junior to beginner intermediate at my best, and I just couldn't keep up with these guys. So I decided, yeah, I'll be a mechanic. I'm good at wrenching, and went to the University of Texas and for mechanical engineering, and had a strong mechanical background. And I got lucky. Mitch Payton gave me an opportunity at Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and I worked for the race team and it excelled from there. But being a supercross mechanic is you and your rider you're locked together. You
Yeah,
are a team. So guess what a team does? You are always competitive and you're always pushing each other
yeah,
no matter what happens. But the job of being a supercross mechanic is not only to be your rider's right hand man; it's you're to be his manager, you're be his guide. You tell him what to do with the experience that you have to hopefully make your rider faster.
yeah. That's a key component that a lot of people don't see and understand. And having been around a ton of uh, bike mechanics, bike chiefs, if you will. Um, and of course, I mean, I've traveled with the Kicker Arena Cross Series for 8 years or 9 years now. So, um, you know, uh, people don't see a lot of that part of it, but it's a great explanation. I mean, really, the breakdown. It's not just like changing the clutch between heats or between qualifying and the heat or whatever. There's so much more that goes to all of that. And obviously, as I would guess anyways, I'm guessing is you learn those skills and balance that stuff effectively. It's probably helped you forward yourself in your current race program also.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, that whole structure, the way that I was taught working, having the beneficial fact of working for a factory and learning the skill of what it takes to
Yeah.
win is how we implement our program at my shop at UTV Unlimited. So, we only use the best. Um, Now we're constantly testing different components. Um, I mean, just there's so there's so many different dynamics to racing, and a lot of guys that are just getting into it really don't realize. The pros, we
Right.
all know, we know what it takes and how much work. I mean, the one guy that I hold high up, and we both came from a motocross background, is Chris Blaze. I mean, that guy works his butt off.
Yeah.
I mean, he's super fast. He's constantly working, constantly testing. I mean, hell, I really wish I had the time that he does to go out and drive every single day. But I mean, all the, a lot of us that are out now, a lot of these kids now they're fortunate. Mommy and daddy are able to buy them a factory car. Spend 140 to $200,000
Right.
and just say, go race it and everything. Um, I think the concentration of the heart that is in racing now is it's completely different. Um, and I'd say maybe it's a different dynamic between the heart, what it takes to be a supercross or motocross rider versus being a driver inside a side by side. There's a lot more heart. I believe there's a lot more heart into racing motocross and supercross, but I still instill that same heart into racing side by side because it's a lot of work,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of privateers that are out there busting their ass trying to get their cars going and pay for parts, and it's not a cheap. This is absolutely not a cheap
No.
sport whatsoever. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I really wish uh, I would have stuck to motocross and supercross because it's about 1/16 of the cost of what it does to race
Yeah.
one of these side
Yeah.
by side. And everybody thinks that the whole glory and glamour of being a champion of you're gonna make all this money and all that. No, no. If I count up all my winnings, realistically, I think we might just break even on just the
Right.
fuel to get to
Yeah.
the races.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
about it.
No, I get that. I crew chiefed and was the engine builder and the car builder, chassis builder for a stock car team in the Pacific Northwest for like 10 years, 9 years. And I get it, man. It's there's so much more to it. And the $12 trophies and the winnings when you do get the big check, um they still don't cover. It's the old adage, how do you make $1 million racing? Start with 10 million.
Yeah, start with at least that,
Yeah.
and like it's unbelievable how much this stuff costs to go. But I mean, I got to look at it this way. What else would I be
Well,
doing?
yeah. And
Um,
you have the advantage. I
I
think you
mean,
have a the advantage of a different drive because you had to build it all right from the get-go. I mean,
everything. There was many nights I pulled all nighters. I slept on my shop floor. I slept in the office. 2, 3 nights. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there's been many times, not I think not last year, but the year before maybe, I literally put the whole card together myself and prepped it and I barely
yeah.
just made tech.
I
And I was and it was just like that was the first year that we debuted the Pro R, and I got second at that one. And then the third time we raced it, we won it. We put a pretty good stomp on everybody. I think we beat everybody by an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow,
Um, yeah,
that's pretty
but I mean,
impressive.
like I said, we're figuring it out, and um, the one to prove to everybody. God, it was like 2 years ago. I teamed up with Braden Baker, and your listeners may not know, but he is one of the most inspirational and fastest kids out in the industry for racing side by sides. And we put him in the car, and I mean, the kid just took off. And not only that, but hell, we took over the first overall qualifier, and we led the race for I want to say the first lap and a half, and then got a flat tire, got it back on, and the kid came up and passed everybody once again. and then handed me the car over, and I'm hearing this transmission grinding and making all sorts of weird sounds, and I go to put it in drive, and it goes in reverse.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay. I slam it in park and I pull it back again and I gas it super hard. It freaking spins backwards again. And then finally the guys are at they're hitting it, picking it and hitting it with the hammer. And then I go to press forward and tell them hit it one more time hard and it clunk, it goes into drive. So as we're going, I mean, if y'all watched like a monkey in an organ grinder going there, that is like the quietest thing compared to this thing. I'm driving and I'm hearing all sorts of noises and I'm yelling at the co-driver. I'm like, "What's that noise?" And he's looking at me and he's like, "Who cares? Don't stop." He's like, "If we stop, we're gonna break." So yeah, we ended up taking like third overall at that race, and it was oh, it was kind of a slap in the face. You know, you figure your sponsors would be super stoked at a pro stock car, and this keep in mind this is before um, the new Polaris Pro R factory car that you could buy was going to come out.
Right.
Um, we just shown them that you could take a bone stock Pro R off the showroom floor and just put a whoop into everybody, which we did. And yeah, it was kind of I think that was the beginning of the end of our relationship with Polaris. Is that they were not they were not stoked about it. They were not happy about it. My team manager actually just kind of gave me like the, really, and that was
Wow.
it. Not a
Yeah, yeah.
congratulations, nothing like that. And at that period of time, that's when I realized, yeah, I think our relationship's going sideways. And it's kind of a bummer because Brett Carpenter was a great manager, and he was always giving positive
Yeah.
reinforcement for all his drivers, and the whole gig was a whole lot better. But I get it, times move on, and
Yep.
the factory's got to do what they got to do. Like I said, I'm completely blessed. I'm very very lucky to have what we have and able to go and still go race every day. I can't say enough about the Can Am. I mean, I absolutely love the car. It is just such a superior machine. I tell everybody, look, what's the difference between the two? Because now I've driven both cars. I've driven a
Right.
factory car, and my pro stock car, and then I've driven a Can Am. And I said, well, the way you really compare this, it's not apples to oranges by any means. It's like you're driving a Pro R is more like driving a Corvette, and a Can Am is like driving a Lamborghini.
Gotcha.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Um, but other than that, like I said, I'm really stoked that we've just had great success in everything. What's going on, and hopefully we keep charging. I mean, we're back in the points lead again with 2 races to go, and hopefully we're gearing up for the Reno to Vegas. And that'll be my hometown race, and then Laughlin after that. Hopefully we take a 101 the next 2 races, and then I get to relax for 2 more months before I get to start racing again.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying, it reminded me like when you get creative and you know how to take care of stuff, you know how to manage your program better. Um, I think when you kind of like have the hard times, if you will, we used to joke that we've done so much with so little for so long. We're ready to attempt the impossible with nothing, you know. But you know, when you start having those successes, you start getting noticed, and now to jump in essence, a new car, it's almost. I mean, it's your same core program, right? But it's also a new program to you
I
this
mean, the
this
when we
year.
when I oh, I mean, literally, this is no joke. I literally when I showed up to Parker, um, I'd had 2 minutes driving the car.
Oh,
I drove it up and down the street, and just kind of felt and wiggled it back and forth to feel the handling. And we went out and pre-ran the car, and I started getting used to it, and then brought it back and made some suspension adjustments. And um, halfway through the first lap, I realized that we were way too undersprung, and we just took a brutal beating. And I think we had like three flats
Wow.
that day. Yeah, that track that this year was just absolutely brutal. There was so much shale rock, and it just made we had a really tough day. Now we got lucky. We just kept pushing along, and um, the one kid that's in the front, St. Peter, just pushed his car a little too hard, and we happened to pass him like the last half lap of the
Nice.
race.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the mint. We really had it. I thought we had this race tucked up, with without a doubt. I felt so confident and so fast in the car. And about mile marker 20, we lost the front brakes. Apparently, I hit a rock. I never saw it, but apparently, it found the
Yeah.
car and sheared the front brake line. So I got out and pinched that off and put zip ties onto it. So now we got about 30% braking, zero braking in the front,
Oh,
and about 30% braking in the rear. And every time you touch the brakes, the rear end locks up and the car slides sideways. So I'm having to drag the brakes the whole time just to get it completed. And we came in and found that a whole bunch of other drivers were having problems. And all we had to do was make it to mile marker, I think, 12, and we would have been in second place. Now, keep in mind, we had, let's see, I think 45 minutes was the first stop with the brakes. Then three flat tires. Um, we pulled over once or twice because we kept hearing a weird noise. And once again, I didn't know the car,
right.
still learning the car. So we got out and looked it over and kicked the tires and got back in it and just kept going. Just said, it is what it is. We just need to finish the race. And then we come in last lap, and the chief's like, hey, just get past mile marker 12. Everybody else in front of you is broken down. First place is out of touch. I said, no problem. I'll just put it to a mild cruise. We got to mile marker 8 and just going down a straightaway, and the something decided to shear in the back, and it tore the rear trailing arm off. And then I got the
Oof.
lovely experience to walk 8 miles back off the course. And what they didn't tell you, the racing shoes are actually like ballet slippers. And so I don't recommend it. you know, I absolutely do not recommend walking out of the race course with driving shoes, because it makes for a really, really bad walk. Not only
Yeah, I
that, but
bet.
it was like pitch black. Couldn't see anything. Hearing snakes, stepping on rocks. It just was awesome. It's the Mint 400.
Yeah, there's
Um,
there is no race I don't think is legendary as the Mint 400. Although Vegas to Reno, I've heard some incredible stories over the years out of Vegas to Reno too. So, but the Mint 400 is, you know, crazy. That's the only way to explain it. It's crazy.
it's so rough and challenging. It really, really is. Um, I just felt like this year I felt the track was just super rough. It was really fun, just super, super rough in some spots. Um, I think absolutely hands down one of the worst tracks in the world. And I'm like I said, I've been blessed. I've won it 3 times in a row. It is the California 300 at there in Barstow. That course from start to finish, you literally do not get a break at all. You just constantly got to be on your toes. And if you don't, you're going to rip an arm off. You're going to get a flat tire. You're going to roll the car. I mean, the possibilities of any type of catastrophe is at least 99%. You make your margin is 1% of
Right.
having a perfect race. And Yeah, good thing for Red Bulls and um, Lunchables. You know,
Right.
Red Bulls and Lunchables are my friend when I'm racing. That's kind of like my go-to. And I think at every single California 300, I always made sure I downed 2 Red Bulls because I knew it was going to be a really really long day.
What's the go-to Lunchable? Mine is the turkey and cheddar.
There it is, dude. That's one of my favorite. With the Oreo, gotta have the
Yep.
Oreo.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I, I watched this video of somebody like basically torching an Oreo, and the Oreo did not catch on fire. And I was like, yeah, I just don't think that's good to eat anymore. So unfortunately, Nutter butters are always on the case there. You know, those are always pretty tasty.
Right. Yeah, I mean, random questions, right? But people want to know this stuff, I'm sure. Um, they probably never thought of asking it, but when I'm doing events now, um, that's like my go-to lunch, man, is turkey and cheddar Lunchables. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah, they're absolutely great. You know,
And a
I know a
Red
lot of
Bull.
guys. Oh, I know a lot of guys, like the breakfast burrito and a cup of coffee. Well, I mean, I've never experienced it. I've heard experiences about it of guys just having that number 2 problem halfway through the race.
Yeah, that's a
And
bad deal.
um, yeah, I remember the last time we raced. No, it was the second time we raced California 300. Um, and like I said, it literally was so brutal. You could not even pee inside the car.
Wow.
And my co-driver was crying to me. He's like, you got to pull over. You got to pull over. I'm like, just, pitch yourself in the car. He's like, I can't even pee. So yeah, I let him out, and he's standing there, and I'm counting, and I'm like 7 seconds. Dude, you should be done. So I'm like slowly starting to inch away from the car and from him, back to the car, and I could hear him screaming at me, and he's peeing right in front of everybody. And I'm like, dude, this is like 15, 13, 14, 15, 16 seconds. I said, dude, if you don't get in this car, I'm leaving you here. And he gets in the car and screaming at me that he's got pee all over him and everything. I'm like, yeah, well, Rubbin's racing, Cole.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the old desert adage, right? Desert racing adage. Nobody likes pee pee pants, and really nobody likes poo poo pants.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine like having to sit in that all. Oh my
Oh,
god, I
yeah.
think that's like my biggest fear.
Understood.
Believe it or not, my one of my biggest fears was that came to tuition. Of course, was the DNF. But not only that, I can remember many times driving through the back section, and 8 miles out of the start, going back to was it Joshua Tree Canyon, or what is that, Joshua Tree Road they have back there, because you get stuck in that one portion of the canyon, and there's no way anybody can recover you. You literally have to walk out,
Oh,
or sit there and wait till the coyotes come, or the
yeah.
race gets over. And like that came to fruition, and I was just like, oh man. Well, I mean, it's out of the way now, so I really hope I don't have to like crap or pee in my pants, man.
Yeah.
I really hope I don't that ever happens to me.
There you go. Yeah. So now next, what's next on the schedule? What'd you say? Vegas,
So
Reno to Vegas. They're doing it
yeah,
backwards this year.
yeah, this year will be
It's going to be
backwards.
interesting.
You know what? I love all the technical. I love the rocky, technical, hardest stuff as possible. Everything goes good. I think next year we're going to go ahead and race the rock. I think it's called the Everyman's race at KOH with the
Yeah.
pro
The
stock
EMC
class. Yeah.
Everyman Challenge.
So whatever class, I know they had a pro stock class with Aiden McCachran and Twitch and McGrath, and I know McGrath's won it a couple of times. So my plan is, if everything goes right, I plan on taking that title away from
Awesome. The Yeah, Vegas to Reno, Reno to Vegas is going to be interesting this year for sure. And you were talking about all the techie stuff, and really you're going to start instead of finishing in the rocks, you're going to start in the rocks, basically.
Well, I mean, it comes right out there at Dayton, and basically, I mean, it's kind of a graded road, and the rocks really don't start to show themselves until you get to the top of the mountain and to the backside, and then you're chicaning it all through, and then you're going to cross the highway to 50. Um, so it's and then you make to the left, and you're going to head out towards Top Gun and
Yeah.
Fallon, and I think that between realistically, that's kind of rocky right there. Um, Maybe a little bit of rock past that out towards Gabs, and then after that, it's a pole line road. I really hope that Brian and Matt Martelli and Killian get out there and give us the technical course. Unfortunately, I know that BLM really has the they and say of
Yep.
exactly how the course is going to be marked, especially at high speeds, and they want the race to get done in an adequate amount of time. But I do know this is that every UTV, probably the top three may finish in the I'd say gray light,
Right.
right at sunset. If you guys don't know what gray light is, right at sunset. The rest of us are going to be driving at night. Night is probably one of my favorites to do because you can't see how fast you're going, and I like to drive as hard as I can to scare the shit out of myself. Um, Especially when you get to those one turns, you're like, oh man, that was close. That was
Yeah.
close. And you laugh about it and you knuckle bump your co-driver, and you do it 3 or 4 times, and your co-driver looks at you, he's like, how many times are we gonna do this? And I'm like, I don't know. Hopefully I don't put it on its limit, but let's just keep going. This is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be really good. I'll be watching. I don't remember where I'm at. I think I'm on the road, but I'll be watching tracking and all that because you know, I've driven um that section of the desert back and forth so many times that I'm a big fan of Vegas to Reno. I'm a fanboy for sure, and I actually um, was able to crew a winning team at one point in Vegas to Reno. We did when we did the Toyo Tires Japan deal with the Romos. Um, so we had two cars in the stock class, and so yeah, there's actually somewhere back there on that shelf is the pen with the Toyo Tires race team hat and all the stuff from Vegas to Reno. So after doing that, I was like, I feel extra special, whenever I'm driving up there. I'm texting Cole pictures. I'm like, pit 3, pit 5, you know.
Uh, you're going by, you're like, oh, there's Miller's, oh, there's Gabs,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
there's Top Gun.
yeah,
And
exactly.
it goes so fast. I mean, we chased it for years. I've been doing suspension for motorcycles and cars now for God, almost 35 years,
Phew.
and we've won Vegas to Reno numerous times. But the the amount of time and how fast it goes, you're starting out there and you're sitting there and it's dark, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and we're getting ready to get lined up and sitting there, and the rider's on the ground sleeping next to the bike, getting himself ready, and then wakes up, gets himself ready, and hand him a Red Bull or hand him his protein shake, whatever he's gonna run, and say, hey, I'll see you at the first pit.
Yeah.
Smooth this fast. Take chances and scare the shit out of yourself. Let's go. Let's go win this.
I like it. Yeah, that's awesome. So, now you're running the Unlimited series, Desert
Yeah, so
Series,
it's that combination.
and the combined, right? Which
It's the
is
combined. So it's the
I can't
American
remember.
Off-Road Racing
American Off
Championship.
Road. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and that's with Unlimited Off-Road and Best in the Desert.
Right. Okay.
So this is the Super Bowl of all races.
Right.
Every single racer in the world that is fast races this organization. That's what I mean. I believe that when you have a competitive edge, you want to race the best in the world
Sure.
and the fastest, and I want to be there as well. And I know a couple of, a bunch of, I mean, I think all of us want to race against each other. All of us want to beat each other, and that's the way it is. Um, I know there's plenty of different organizations for racing, but my definitely the key is that I like the professionalism. I love the people. I love the racers. Is definitely this new organization has turned out to be something great, and I think it's just going to get bigger. I think you guys are going to see there's going to be other races coming up that are going to blow your mind that you thought would never come back.
I would I would love to see, I was happy to see some cooperation, and I would love to see more cooperation, even though, I'm not necessarily involved in the UTV racing side anymore. It's nice to see some series playing together, getting along, and I would sure
Yeah.
love to see more of that. I think it'd be great for the sport. I think when you have 5 desert series and they're all racing same weekends or the next weekend after or all over, it's hard on racers, it's hard on car count, and it's hard on fans. It's hard to build interest in the sport that way. So bringing some of them together definitely, excuse me, definitely is going to help build interest in the sport. And like you said, it gets all the guys together to really go for it, and that's something to be said for sure.
I think the total bummer is, I was good friends with Casey Folks,
Yeah.
and I know he had bigger plans and everything for the future of BITD, and unfortunately we lost him, and things are progressing on with Brian and Matt and them all connecting together. Like I said, I look forward to the future. I think things are gonna be awesome. But yeah, it does bug me that one weekend there's a race at Parker, and then 2 weeks again there's another organization, and they're racing the same track again.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that just these other ones kind of just rather dissipate, or what's going to happen. Because I mean, um, I think people are going to figure it out that if you want to if you want to race the best, you're going to have to race this American Off Road Series. That's just all there is to it.
Well, and it would be nice to see more of the series play together anyways, in my opinion. So it just makes a less segmented external view of the sport as a whole, you
Oh,
know?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
So with that, man, I know we're pushing up on time. Um, obviously, we need to make sure you hit up all your sponsors.
Oh, absolutely. First thing I got to say, is thank Brett for Brett King over at King Shocks. Um, all the guys over at Can-Am, Nate Hunt over at BFG, all the guys over at Solid, all the guys over at Super 8 TV, Craig Paul over there at Diode Dynamics, um, all the guys over at Metal Effects Wheels, um, all the guys at iBach. I mean, God, you got so many freaking sponsors. I mean, definitely Jack over at Jägermeister. Like the, uh, uh, I've always been a big fan of if they'd let me do it, trust me, I would have a Red Bull Jaeger before I got off the starting line.
Yeah, they might. I don't know. They might frown on that.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
That's funny.
It's like that old school thing. It'd be great to see if everybody took a shot, ran over to a bat, put it to their head, spun 'em around, and
Right.
then ran back to the race car, try to get in, buckle themselves in, and go.
Well, hey, you never know. I mean, the Martellis are good at entertainment, so you never know. Um, but yeah, I don't think we'll see that anytime soon. Um,
Yeah. No,
also,
no, but also, I want to thank my buddy Tony over at Yak Designs. He's the one that takes care of our wrap and gets all our stickers and everything. Definitely want to thank Matt Martelli, Killian Hamlin, Josh Martelli, Brian Folks, and everybody over at BITD and Unlimited um, for putting out the effort to get us, a good series for all us racers to come out and race and have a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
remember, you can do this too. You just got to start with
Yeah.
a
Start
whole
in the
lot of
stock
money.
class and start moving your way up. I mean, I can tell you, even the stock or production, whatever they call it, I think it was stock. Um, man, it's exciting. No matter what. I mean, if you've got the bug, definitely go check it out. Um, Also, one other person, Marcelo. We want to be sure and thank Marcelo over at
Oh,
Assault.
absolutely.
Assault. He put us together. Marcelo is, I've known Marcelo since I think the first show that he did with Assault, and I think that might have been 2013. But yeah, we've been great
Yeah,
friends
Marcel
for a long
Marcel's great.
time.
Yeah, thanks, Marcel. Thanks for getting this hooked up.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say one thing that I do really like about Assault, they've got these new mirrors to put on the car, man. They're awesome.
Yeah.
We actually hit a tree. We got kicked. We hit a tree about 65 miles an hour,
Ooh.
and yeah, it took out a whole portion of the front of the car, and the mirror still hung on.
Wow. That's I have abused the old standby, the old bomber series, all versions since they came out, and I have never replaced one because it failed or broke. I have replaced glass once and I've replaced trim rings, but I've never replaced the actual mirror assembly with everything I've ever done to them, um, from Moab to Glamis. So, there's something to be said about it for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, anybody else, special shout outs? Anybody else you need
Um,
to give credit to?
I got to tell you, thank my crew. My crew definitely. I can't do this without my crew. Oh, those guys are amazing. My wife, she's an amazing. God. You know, um, Really couldn't have done this without her support. My brother and like I said, my crew, my family. I mean, it's been awesome. Even all the, what, I even got to thank all the other racers, because what's great about this sport that we're in is that, realistically, we all talk crap against each other and everything, and it's all good and fun. But when it comes down to racing time and when somebody needs help, your competitor right next door will be coming over to try and help you out as much as they can. So,
Yeah, that,
thanks for everybody for, contributing to this to make it bigger and better.
that's awesome. And where can they find you to follow you? Hit us up with that. Those
So
social media links.
you can find me at Instagram at Justin Von Metal. You can also find me on Facebook at Justin Von Metal. Um, I answer emails. I answer questions. Don't call me in the middle of the night because I will not answer. Um,
I have the same
but no,
policy.
yeah, that's the best way. What the great thing is probably in the next couple of months we'll actually be having a show called the Thrash Zone, and it's going to tell you guys of what to buy and what not to buy for your side by side, what lasts
Awesome.
and what doesn't last.
Oh, that is good news. Where will that be?
That'll actually be on Instagram.
Okay.
We'll have a new segment, and it's a subscribe only, and it's called the Thrash Zone. And
Awesome.
it's literally we start out by taking a product that we bought. Nobody's given us anything out. We go out and test it. We run it over. We shoot it. We blow it up. And then in general, I mean, I think one portion we have we have some belts that we put into a tree grinder to see if they would shred.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's cool. I'll be watching for that for sure. Um, Man, I think we got everything. I think we about got it covered. Thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate
Thank
your
you, Lauren.
time.
Thanks you guys. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on here. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thanks. thanks for being on. Congratulations on the big Silver State win this year. You just keep stacking those wins, and super good luck on the Reno to Vegas 2026.
Thanks, brother. We'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, look forward to it, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you
See,
guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
you too. Bye. Man, yeah. Woo. Exciting stuff for sure, dude. Um, yeah, let's get this wrapped up. Let's lick the stamp and get her stuck. I don't know. I don't know where that came from even. Um, Random stuff happens sometimes, you know. Yeah, so man, we got Memorial Day coming up, which will be past by the time this comes out. But, you know, I feel like I need to tell everybody it's important to be respectful and memorialize all the service people, all our U.S. service people that have lost their lives in pursuing freedom for us to be able to do what we do and keeping our country free every day of the year. Yes, it's nice we have a day for it. But you should be grateful every day of the year.
Amen to that.
Yeah. With that, a special shout out to my good man, Chaplain Rizzo at American Flat Track. I hope he's feeling better. He was a little under the weather last weekend out at Bud's Creek, which we'll get into Bud's Creek. We're going to do a after show pretty quick, and it may even come out before this does. But anyways, yeah, Chaplain Rizzo was a little under the weather and called me Saturday morning and asked me if I'd speak at chapel for him in lieu of him Saturday afternoon, and I was very pleased to, and that was definitely a blessing.
Dude, that's amazing. That
Yeah,
so
it was
cool.
really cool. What a great opportunity, and you know, I'm just so blessed to be living my 8-year-old dream and be surrounded by cool people and cool stuff all the time. You know, it's definitely worth sharing the blessings and the stokes. So, um, man, other than that, I think we need to wrap it up. Be sure and check out our incredible partners and sponsors. Kicker Performance Audio broke out this old vintage shirt.
Oldie
That's
but a
right.
goodie. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through some of my old T-shirts and separating everything out, and I'm like, oh man, I have that set aside. I think it's been set aside for 5 or 6 years because they've made a very limited run of these,
Yeah, you got to
and
protect them from that heavy cycle.
yeah, but I said today is the day.
I love
we're
it.
talking racing. Um, we're talking motorsports and power sports. We need a little of this. So,
I love it.
yeah, Kicker Performance Audio, Kicker Marine Audio, Kicker Off-Road Audio, Kicker Personal Audio. Find it all kicker.com, on Instagram at Kicker Audio, on Facebook, Kicker, and on YouTube. I almost forgot, on YouTube at Kicker Audio. Also, I want to give a special shout out, speaking of Kicker, to my good friend Jason over at Pro Speed, all one word, Pro Speed Off-Road. Go check him out on Instagram at Pro Speed Off-Road. During Desert Storm, he unveiled a new limited production Ford F-150 that he is building for select dealers only, called the Asphalt Killer. And it is the real deal, folks. 750 to 1,200 horsepower. Every single one
Unbelievable. You know?
is a serial number 1 of 1.
Yeah. So do you have your pre-order in yet, or what are you trying to get at?
I do not, but I'm pretty sure once he had the number one of the series at Desert Storm, right? And nobody drove that but him. So I'm thinking maybe when we get up, in production a little bit, I'll get to drive one at least.
Good. Well, at least your name's on that list.
And it is loaded with kicker audio. And if you check out his unveiling, his debut video, you might even see a little someone you know. So that's at Pro Speed Off Road. Anyway,
wink, wink.
Yeah, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Also, Bomber Safety Eyewear, Bomber Floating Eyewear, Bomber Badass Eyewear. You can find them, bombereyewear.com, on Instagram at Bomber Eyewear, on Facebook, Bomber Eyewear, and hit up their website. Man, I think they just released 2 new styles of frames, so I think that puts us almost at 50 frame styles. I can't even tell you how many lens options, safety clear, safety tint, safety yellow, safety prescription. How about safety dark smoke polarized like these?
The classic.
I mean, little bit of everything. Whatever you need, find them. BomberEyewear.com. When you get to the cart, enter the code MAddOG20, MAddog20. Save yourself a little money and let them know you listen to the Mad Dog. Of course, Assault UTV, Assault Industries, Assault Off-Road for all your premium off-road necessities, whether it be accessories for your vehicle, toolkits, which I know Cole and I both love ours. Use the heck out of them all the time. Man, apparel or a cooler bag. Assault Industries has you covered. You can find them online, assaultind.com, or on Instagram at AssaultUTV, on Facebook, Assault Industries, and know they are a super ATV company. Great group of people. Of course, Shutter and World Media, taking care of all our audio and video production, and for all your audio, video, or film work needs, Shutter and World has you covered. From stills, pre-production, post-production, production itself. She specializes in that, It's
She
true.
does. It is true.
Hit her up on Instagram at Shutter and Whirl. Find her website in the bio on Instagram. Hey Geeks Marketing has us covered for our website, which we're rebuilding slowly, and our social media templates, helping you out with anything you need, from website building to social media campaigns to whatever you need in between. Got a problem? Call Hey Geeks, or just find her, heygeeks.com, or on Instagram at Hey Geeks Marketing. Of course, it's my boy's special day, the Premix Podcast, the one that pulled the pin on all of this to get it all started. Cole, happy birthday. I love you, and I am so grateful to call you my little brother and to be able to do this crazy, awesome, weird-ass podcast with you all the time.
Ditto back to you, big bro. Love you, man, and just thanks for keeping me along for the ride and keeping this thing going, man. It's been a few years, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So, yeah, just happy to do it side by side.
Yep, absolutely. Wouldn't do it any other way, bro.
I love it.
So, with that, do the speech.
Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite streaming platform.
Smash that like button. Give us a follow. Leave us a comment, and we'll get back to you. If you need to book us for your announcer MC needs, find us on Instagram at AFTR_podcast, or on YouTube, Mad Dogs After AFTR Show Podcast. Also, Be sure and watch for our shorts and our entertaining, fun stuff coming up at Mad Dog's After Show. On behalf of Cole and myself, I want to say thank you to all our listeners. Thank you to our loyal listeners. Man, Rob Mack, I know when you listen to this, you'll probably be driving. Please drive safe. Rubber side down, my brother. Hope to see you soon. Mr. Crazy Watson, we're still working on it. I'll get back to you. Other than that, man, God bless our fans. God bless our service personnel all around the world. God bless our first responders and agents. God bless our veterans. God bless America. Mad Dog out.